Mel here. So I made a shorter video just a few minutes ago, but I felt the urge to come on and make a longer one, just kind of diving a little bit deeper into what I mentioned before. And I want to honor my urge to share, and so I'm here. So the way this all started was this morning. I was journaling, and my journal question was, who am I choosing to be today? So that's what we're going to talk about in today's wellness session. Okay, so I have my notes here because I don't want to forget certain things. But first thing I wanted to mention is journaling. I always mention journaling to everyone. I get so excited about journaling, and it's more about, for me, about number one, letting go what's in my mind, right? Sometimes we're thinking the same things over and over and over. So it's kind of good to just sit down and write everything, like just free writing everything down. That's one, okay? It could be fun discovering things about yourself. I love looking at old journals that I have and just kind of, oh, look, I said this. Sometimes I don't even remember the stuff that I wrote down, but it's just like amazing to see a few months what has changed for me in terms of feeling and what I'm doing with myself. So that's nice. It also, like I said, for me, the first one, the clarity is like you writing everything down. It gives you a chance to see everything on paper, and then you can choose to sort things out from there if that feels good to you. Noticing patterns, like I mentioned, it's nice to look back at things and just see, oh, I did this before, I didn't do this before. And you could kind of put together, you could be your own therapist by journaling. Yeah, I love to do it in the morning. I do want to pick up and start doing it back in the evenings again. I just think it's a great way to check in with yourself. And like I said, releasing things, especially before bed, that's like really good. You had a whole day worth of stuff, maybe take a few deep breaths, let everything out, and then a few more deep breaths to kind of release and let go of all of that you just wrote down. Okay, so just an idea. All right, so let's move on. So the first thing that I spoke about in my other video was how I'm choosing to show up for myself. So for me, that looked like first thing in the morning, I did some movement, and sometimes I don't wake up like, oh, energized, like everybody might think. They might see me and they might be like, oh my gosh, I'm a normal person. Sometimes I wake up and I'm tired and I'm like, oh, I want to go to sleep more, right? It's normal. But once you get up, it's like, come on, let's change it. Let's liven ourselves up. Let's remind ourselves so much things that we have to be grateful for. That's what I do for myself. So I might want a little bit of movement, get a little journaling in as a check-in and a little releasing. So for me, that's what I did this morning. Okay, so just an example. And it doesn't always have to be just about journaling and movement and breathing, right? Because I know I say a lot of that stuff. But showing up for yourself could be what you need. Maybe you really do need a few more minutes or hours of sleep. Maybe you should allow yourself to have that if it's possible in that day, right? Move your body, like I said, if that's what you want to do. Choosing to eat or not. I also find that eating, right? Like sometimes we're stuck on that, oh, we have to have breakfast, we have to have lunch, we have to have dinner. But it doesn't always have to be that way. Really check in with yourself. If you don't feel like eating, you don't feel like eating, and that's okay. You're still going to be alive. So that's just a little, I don't know. For me, I think that that's the way I grew up. Like morning, lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it was a must. Even the dessert after dinner, that was like a must. And the past few years, it hasn't really been like that. It's been just what I feel like doing. If I don't feel like eating, then I'm not gonna eat, right? Okay, listening to the body, paying attention to what you need. All right. Before we go on and on and on and on. All right. So yeah, so this could be little simple things, right? We don't have to overthink this. We don't have to think, oh, this has to be a huge big decision. It's what are you feeling in the moment? And that's how you can choose to show up for yourself. It's just paying attention, just the way I just did with this. I did a short video. I just wanted to share, and then I got an urge to just share more. Explain a little bit more of what I'm saying and what I mean. Sorry, just looking. Okay. Yeah. So another thing it could be look like is maybe setting boundaries, right? And saying no without having guilt about it and without having to explain yourself further. So those are all ways that you can do that, okay? Um all right. Showing up as me, I mentioned, right? I'm so glad I wrote down these notes because I would not be able to remember all of this. But showing up as me, the way I am. The way I am, meaning sad, happy, frustrated, disappointed, excited, whatever it is. It's really learning to check in with yourself and what you're feeling, what you're thinking about, right? And see it. See it. Tell yourself I see that. And accept it. It's okay. It's a normal feeling. I'm sweating here, dripping. But just you're just sharing what is really happening right now. So yeah, so there's no need to pretend. This is you with yourself, right? So take that time to really look into yourself and notice these things. You don't need to ignore your feelings. And then when it comes to sharing yourself with other people, I mean, it could be difficult sometimes. You might feel showing up as yourself, especially if people are used to seeing you a certain way and then all of a sudden you change it up. But you know what? No, it shouldn't be. This is your life, it's your feelings, it's your choice and the way that you choose to show up. So, really, it's fine to be who you are and show up as yourself. Um, and another thing that I like about that works for me and so much of why I'm sorry for the noise in the background, but I'm in a public place. Um, as much as I like showing up as I am, for me, because it's kind of just freeing, it's a freeing thing to not be like, oh, I have to be like this, I have to be like this, because this, you know what I mean? But it's also, I feel, when you show up a certain way and you're yourself and you're authentic, you can also then, I don't want to say give permission to other people because I'm nobody to give permission to anyone, okay? But I feel like it's really just showing your true self. And I feel like sometimes that helps another person to also show up as themselves and say, hey, oh, look, this person is just sharing themselves as they are, right? Like there's no perfection needed. So it's not about giving somebody else permission to, but it's just, I don't know, just being open and true and authentic and kind of letting guards down. I feel like it helps people to show up better as themselves. And I have a perfect example of that. I was blessed enough to enjoy a training with, like, it was part of my job. And so we went on this PD, and oh my gosh, the people that were leading the PD, they were amazing, beautiful, and they were so themselves, so different from what you just see on a professional level where everybody is trying to maintain. They were so open and just honest and welcoming, and I don't even know what words to use to describe them. They're such beautiful people, these two people. And they mentioned how you don't have to stay seated the whole time. You can get up, you can move around. Like, that was like a relief, because me sitting for a long time is not what I like to do. I like to be moving around. So it was just like, in a way, giving permission, okay? But it was just like, oh, I can get up and I could walk around and move to the back, and I can stretch around a little bit my body, and nobody's gonna be like, oh, what is she doing? That's not what she shouldn't be doing that. You know, they even put like little fidget things on the table, and I just felt like that was just welcoming to everyone. So I love that so much. So that was my example for that. Okay, let me get back to my notes. Okay. So yeah, seeing it, seeing what you're feeling, accepting it, and then asking yourself, how can you move forward from that? How can you move forward from those feelings? If they're good feelings, great. If they're feelings that you don't really like so much, well, then how can you move forward not ignoring the feeling? What can you do to help yourself in this moment? What do you need? Okay, big thing. What do you need? Okay, yes. Okay, let's move it on. Let's move it on. Okay. Sorry, just have a lot of notes here, but some of them it's like I just want to touch on those points specifically that I mentioned in my shorter video. Yeah. So the third thing that I spoke about was sweating, choosing to take small steps. And it's so funny because I woke up and journaled about how do I choose to be today? And then I came up with those things, showing up for myself, showing up as myself, and then taking those small steps towards my goals, right? My visions that I've had forever, right? So I'm on that track right now. And it's funny because then I watched a video of my good friend that she was talking about taking small steps. And I love when that happens, when it's like I feel or talk about something and then I go and I watch something and then they're talking about the same thing or similar. Is amazing. Okay, so back to this. So okay, sorry. Looking through my notes. Okay, so choosing to take small steps. Yeah, so there's things like I said before in the other video, things that I envisioned for years of how I want to help people. What do I want to do? What it could really truly look like. You have those dreams. And I've mentioned this before. Dreams are not just dreams. They're there for you to make them into your reality. It might not be exactly how you pictured them. It might not happen exactly how you planned it out, but you can move towards those dreams and that reality. Just do it. Just take those small steps. And you don't have to do the whole thing at one time. And a lot of times that's what happens. We get overwhelmed of, oh, how are we going to get there? Oh, I have to do this. Oh, I have to do this. It's like, and it doesn't have to be overwhelming to everybody. We all have our own definition of overwhelm. Okay, so something might be overwhelming to somebody, while somebody else, it might be something they can do in 1, 2, 3 a minute. So always think about you. Okay, all right. So yeah, you don't have to take those big steps right away, completing everything all at once, but taking small steps of what can lead you to what you've been dreaming of, what you want to become your reality. Okay. So I wrote down here little examples, right? Like maybe you send an email, maybe you read a page of a book that's gonna help you get there. Maybe you're researching. Maybe you take a course. Maybe you watch. Did I say video already? Maybe, I'm not sure. Okay, signing up for something, practicing a skill, right? So all of these are things that we're gonna take us slowly to where we want to be. All right. And yes, when you take time to notice, and this is why I love writing things down, because a lot of times in my day, I tell myself, or I'll tell my mom, I think I mentioned this before, oh my gosh, I didn't do anything today. I didn't do what I wanted to do. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And then she'll say, wait, you did this, you did this, you did this. What do you mean you didn't do anything today? And sometimes we need that. So writing it down can help us to see visually, even though we didn't feel like we did things, what did we do today? You know, so I feel like that's very important. Sorry, wiping my sweat over here. Um, okay, so, right, so stop thinking and just begin participating in your life and begin creating the life that you want. This is really just the amazing thing of just choosing to show up for yourself and choosing. What are you choosing for yourself today? The amazing bigness that comes out from just that small choice that you made in the morning. All right. So, for me, like I mentioned in the other video, one thing that at least one thing in each like category, right? For me, nourishing my vessel, right? Which could be anything we already learned, whatever you know that you need in that moment, whether it's resting, sleeping, walking, exercising, eating, not eating, whatever that may be for you. It's nourishing your vessel, okay? And maybe that's also spending time with people. It doesn't always have to be just you by yourself, okay? Um, Number two, what is moving me closer to my goal? Okay, that's another one. So whatever I can do to help me get there. And we spoke about that. And number three is what supports and improves my everyday life. And that could really be something as simple as organizing something in your home, organizing things on your phone. Like these are simple little things, you know, that just make everyday life easier. And when things are easier with those simple things, you have more room to focus on creating more. Okay, so my last thing that I'm going to say in this long video is to ask yourself, who are you choosing to be today? And very important is who you're choosing to be and not who you think you need to be. It's not about who you think other people need you to be, what they think that you should be, because I've had plenty of that as well. Okay, and so no, this is about you. This is your life. You're the one living your life. Okay, so it's about you, basically. What is the small step that you could take toward what you want to create, and be the best you that you can be. All right, so that's it, my super long video. Peace, love, and light. This is Mel.